Welcome everyone to another video in our Bryan Fundamental series where I try to get better at Bryan day by day and bring you along for the ride. So today is one of our long-awaited lapping streams that I've finally gotten around to doing, and this is going to be against June. So, yeah, it's 8 a.m. Local time for me. So the reason that I've been lapping June on my free time, which is really just punishment practice against her moves, and you'll see me doing it in the warm-up of games, is that the two losses that I had at EVO were against the June player earlier, and then a Lee player, ultimately. The Lee player was very solid, and I feel like, just had a very good understanding of the game, but I also am not really sure how much they got away with, so to speak. But the June player definitely got away with a lot. And so in my head, there's no better motivation than, a crushing loss to get better in a matchup. So that's why we picked June. Now, June is also a bit of a scrub killer anyway because her stances can be very difficult to deal with. And that's actually primarily what we want to focus on today. There are punishable moves that I will eventually cover, but I think those are pretty easy to just go through the move list, be like, I've seen this move before, oh look, it's punishable, Whereas these stances require a little bit more dedicated research into figuring out why they exist, what are they doing, and what are our options. So that's what we're going to be doing today. To begin, to get a little bit of a preview of the stances that she has three main stances, and I'm going to put them in here. So we have June stances. We have Izumo, and I'm going to do up. I'm going to actually put this notation of how to manually get into it so that we can visually see what these are. So then we have Genjutsu. So forward 3+4. Then we have Miare, which is back 1+2. And then we have Kazama Essence. And I'm going to put Kazama Essence here just to figure out what the hell is Kazama Essence, right? So this is the charge, and we just need to figure out what's the difference, right? So you'll notice this says chip on block, deal self damage, chip on block. So I think these are just powered up moves, but we're just kind of putting that in there as an extra thing. You'll notice there's no other stances in here, but there are actually a lot of attack reverses from this character. Well, actually, maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the point. So let's look at these real quick and figure out what are the differences of these stances, right? What are these stances that they're talking about? So Izumo is this move, right? So this is why this is up 2, because this move is, Izumo is the high attack that then ends up transitioning into these types of 50-50s that you see coming from the June. So this is the most common one, right? And then you have I don't know what the in the notation is for that, but it's something like this, right? So you have this mix, or you have this or something, right? And it's a pretty scary thing to deal with because when it's on block, you'll notice it's +4, right? So this is press 1 to believe in your heart is Kazama Essence. Gotcha. So yeah, so this is, and I do think there's a T-pose. We'll see if one of these is the T-pose. So that's the first one. Izumo is probably the first one that we're going to look at today. And then if we have time, we'll look at Genjutsu. Genjutsu is a little more, it's at the end of the day, a very similar mix, but I think it's a little bit less deadly than the other ones because you do get hit, right? But I think most of them are counter hit type situations, and you'll notice it is still a mix, right? But it's not as bad. And I don't know if there's more than this, but that's the point. That's Genjutsu. And then Miare is T-pose, right? This is Miare, and you'll notice that she is healing, which I think if I do something like this and then T-pose, she should be healing during that time. So, at least her recoverable health. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Izumo. So the first thing that we're going to be doing with Izumo, so let me get rid of this one and bring up a new one. June, Izumo, entries. So the first thing you want to do with any of these stances is you want to start off with going through the move list and finding all of the moves that are going to shift into Izumo. There's going to be like a thing on here that tells you how that works. So you have, for example, 1-1, 1-1, it's because it says shift to Izumo, 1-2-2, 1-2, 1-2-2, 1-2-2. And the nice part about Izumo is I'm pretty sure Izumo ends up turning into essentially a string mix. So just for my own sanity, let's see. We'll look at these strings in a little more detail in a second here. But I get the impression there's probably like a mid option on these strings. In addition, we also have apparently forward 1, forward 1, forward 3-2, forward 3-2, shifting Miari on hit. No, this is not Izumo. No Izumo. No Izumo. No Izumo. A lot of talk about Kazama Essence. Is this it? And we will go through the Miare moves as well, because that could be one. Yeah, we already did up 2. That might be it. She has a lot of moves, but that's partially just because a lot of these end up turning into like stance moves or like looping back into each other, is my understanding. Yeah, see, not a lot of moves go into Izumo. That's actually a good thing. And these are all the Izumo moves. These are the Genjutsu moves. Let's see if any of these shift into Izumo. I don't think they do. I think it's a bit of a ladder with this character. Yeah, okay. So I'm not seeing any others. So this is actually a pretty manageable list, all things considered, from what I can see. What I mean by ladder, Mello, is like, it's a lot of these stance characters, like Lars is who I'm thinking of when I think of this. Like, they have this sort of thing where it's like, Izumo would be the equivalent of Lars's dynamic entry. And then, if you don't do anything during Lars's dynamic entry, he can then do something that takes him into silent entry. And silent entry is stronger. And then if you don't do anything in silent entry, you can put yourself now into limited entry, which is even stronger. Like, that's what I mean by a ladder, where it's like the longer you wait, the worse it gets. I don't think Jun exactly follows that, because I think the hardest 50-50 is probably just Izumo anyway, but it's still an interesting thing to think about, where it's like Izumo takes you into Genjutsu, but Genjutsu doesn't go back. You should pretty much be mashing mids on Lars when you don't know what to do. Like, you should be mashing mids on him. Forward 3 is particularly good with Bryan, until you know, like, why you can't, basically, right? So, okay, so so we have up 2. Up 2 is just, like, the typical Izumo thing, but I still think it's worth, putting in a recording of it, or at least getting the frames on this. So it's 23 frames. So we'll say this is I-23 high, and we'll do on hit first, I guess. So it's plus 11 on hit, plus 11 hit, plus 11 on hit, and then I wonder if there's a way to, like, is this easier to read? Maybe we'll do it this way. So plus 12. Do something like this, and then plus 4 on block. Tracking. We'll put a little extra hit in with tracking. So then we have 1-1. So now we have 1-1. So this is plus 8 on hit, and this is out of a jab. So I'm gonna say I-10. and it's a high mid. I-10 high mid. So, oh, and I guess that's sort of the quote mix here. Is that you have 1-1, then you also have 1-2. And that seems to be, yeah, okay. So that might be the mix on its own. It's like the 1-1 and the 1-2 are the high mid mix. We'll see in a second here. But we're gonna say tentatively +8 on hit. And then on block, -1. And it's the same mix afterwards. So then you have 1-2-2. So 1-2-2, and oh yes, let's do a quick recording of this. And the reason we're doing that, I think we just confirmed it, it's not natural. Maybe on counter hit it is. Nope, even on counter hit. See, it's just not natural. So not natural hit. Cool. Now you have 1-2-2. The classic. So this one is I-10 again. High. +8 on hit, right? Well, +4 on block. +11 on hit, yep. Okay, and +4 on block. Now, anything else special about this? I believe so, in that this is a counter hit. Yeah, counter hit combo. Oh, wait. And the first 2 hits, jail. So this is a natural hit, natural combo. First 2 hits, jail. Why is that important, right? So you can duck it. The problem, or the weird thing, is it's very, what do you call it? Like, it's very tight of a window for like no reason, even though like it doesn't seem like she actually has the option to, actually do anything afterwards. Like, even though I'm holding the block afterwards, right? Even though I hold the block afterwards, it doesn't give me the punish. I don't know if that's just like a visual bug. See how long she waits to do this? But it's like, it feels like I could even do this in theory, right? So it's like, I don't really know why that is. Maybe because she's in the stance. And it could be that like she has access to like a power brush or something, but it's kind of interesting to keep in mind. Now we have forward 1. And you'll notice, same move, right? Forward 1 is just the second hit of the string, right? So this move, I-20. I-20 mid. And it's the same frames probably as well. Oh, it's actually +8, +9 this time. And then on block it's 0. So it's actually 1 frame better. So now it's +9 on hit, 0 on block. Okay, interesting. And then you have also, I would be remiss to not point out that mix as well. So we'll talk about that in a second here. And then you have forward 3-2. And this is one that you just kind of want to be ready for, and it's mixed with a forward 3-4 basically. Mixed with forward 3-4. So -13. So this is the next one that you can do, and it's the same frames again. It's like +11, and it comes out at 16 frames. So I-16, mid-high, +11 on hit, +4 on block. So basically, you have these. If I were to like move these around a little bit, you'll see that actually the reality here is that like 1-1, 1-1, and forward 1 are basically two sides of the same coin, right? And then you'll see that all the other ones kind of deal with this up 2 mess here. So if I clean this up a little bit so that we can see that a little better, you'll see that you have up 2, 1, 2, 2, forward 3, 2, all ending in this high tracking 2, and then you have 1, 1, and forward 1 ending in this mid that's essentially less scary, right? And you'll notice that for the tracking high, it's always +4 or +11. If you get hit, you're in trouble. You're blocking, right? Well, actually, it's really for all of them. If you get hit, you're blocking. But like, it's +4 on block for the tracking high, and then it's -1 or 0 on block for the mid. So that's something to keep in mind. And then on top of that, you have this situation. Like, you see this all the time from Junes, right? Like, and I don't like, and I think it's just because they're trying to catch you. They're just trying to catch you trying to duck it, basically. Just like this, basically, right? And what I thought was interesting about this is that, like, you see, I don't know if it works, but like maybe you have to do like a deeper dash or something, like a side step. But it's like how are they? I don't know how they're canceling it that much faster, but, and I don't think there's anything in here that indicates that would be the case, right? Oh, press during it. Oh, okay. Let me try it again. I did it wrong. Like this. Like that, right? And in this situation, now, you get stuck. So I wonder if we could just... I wonder if that just beats it. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that just beats it. That's very interesting. And I'm gonna put this in as like a thing here, right? Like, mix with 1, 2, side step 4. I believe it was what I did, right? So let's see, is it side step 4? Yeah. So that's actually pretty interesting. Like, maybe we can option select that with a while standing 3. Something to keep in mind. So now let's go through the Izumo moves, okay? So June, Izumo moves. So if we go through these now, not that many. Great. So you have 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. I guess I'll put on a hit 1. And then, that's the hell sweep anyway, so I don't know if this is actually like needed. And then 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2. Forward 1 plus 2. Oh my gosh, there's a lot more than I thought I saw when I scrolled through this. Okay, and do any of these transition stance? Yeah, 1, 2, 1 forward goes to Genjutsu and 1 back goes to Miare. And this is what I meant before, where it's, so I'll say 1, 1 forward goes to Genjutsu, 1 back goes to Miare. Cool. So we got a number of these to look into now. So let's figure out what is, oh wait. I guess we'll see what's going on. So So if we have... Yeah, you can't do it twice. It was just in there as like a... Yeah, no, that's not a thing. Okay. It's just the stance goes away after a while. Okay, so let's try some of these. So we have 1-1, which is a high-high, right? So that's I-13. I-13 high-high, right? So I-13 high-high. -4 on block, and on hit it's like a knockdown. Yeah, knockdown. Knockdown on hit, -4 on block. For the 1-2 version, obviously it's a mid. -13. And on hit, +6. It's knockdown though. Knockdown on hit. So I-13 high mid, knockdown on hit, -13 on block. Okay? Next. This is where it gets very interesting, I feel like. So we have something like this. So you notice it goes to -6 or +5. So I-13 high, -6, so +5 on hit, -6 on block. And then we have the Miare one. Looks like +5 on hit again, and -6, so same. So I'm actually going to just say they're the same. Or one back, Miare. They're both the same. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just already like kind of brainstorming some ideas here. So given that those are the same, I'm just going to go ahead and report over this and instead do a standing 2 now. So that's the launcher. I-23. I-23 -3 on block. And you're launched on hit, right? So I-23 mid, launch on hit, -13 on block. You'll notice that every mid here is -13. That makes it a little bit easier to remember, which is great. Doesn't look like you can step it, but it looks like we're very close if we walked it. Yeah. Looks like you can walk that. We'll see. And then we have a standing 3. That's the other one. And this one is another mid. A little bit faster, I believe. Yeah, I-16. I-16 mid-high. I actually didn't know it was a mid-high. Oh, but it jails. Yeah, you can't do anything about it. But you can step it. Interesting. Oh, this is linear as hell. Okay. And if I do it again, like knockdown, so I'll say heat engage, knockdown on hit, and then what was the frames on block? -6. Okay, linear. Whereas this one, maybe I'm gonna put like sidewalk left question mark. Okay, now we have a 4-1. Hell sweep. The classic. Okay. What? Interesting. Whoa. What the heck? That's crazy. So we have... This is less scary than I thought. So I-19 low, low mid, though the mid barely matters, right? Okay, so we have... Let me turn this off. That's getting annoying. So, sidewalk. So it's, knockdown on hit, like, minus a million, minus 37 on block. And now it's sidewalk. It's like sidestep left, mid whiff, sidewalk left, whiff, sidestep right, whiff. So it's pretty linear, actually, more linear than I gave it credit for. Oh, there's the power crush. I was like, there's gotta be a power crush in here. You never see it. I-21 minus 12. And it just knocks you down. I see. Okay. I-21. I-21 mid. Knockdown on hit. Minus 12. On block. What happens? Yeah, that's it. Okay. And is it linear? Linear. Linear. Okay. Not a very good move. This is actually getting really interesting because I feel like we're kind of seeing a little semblance of like things we can do in this situation. And now we have forward 1 plus 2. Oh, wait, forward 1 plus 2. My bad. Oh, that's a weird move too. That looks like it's tracking. She has a tracking move? It's plus 5 or minus 6. What? Okay, sure. I've never seen this move ever. That's wild. So I-16 mid. Tracking. I'll put tracking. Let's plus 5 on hit. Minus 6 on block. That actually kind of balances out everything else. So basically, she can choose to do this tracking move if she needs to stop us, right? But at that point, you're already like kind of afraid of our walking and all the options that we might do. So that's actually really fascinating. So now that we have all of this, the main thing that we really want to be looking into is like, what are our options? Like, oh, how much can I walk, right? Like, okay, sidestep right? Sidewalk left. Sidewalk left, sidestep right. So, because I'm trying to see, like, can I just deal with it, right? So, sidewalk left, sidestep right. And then we have 1-2. What does 1-2 look like? Sidestep right. Hell, this one's sidestep left or right. Sidestep left, sidestep right. Right? Linear. I can almost just put linear at that point. Then we have the forward one is probably just going to whiff because we've been doing that. Okay. Same with this. Oh wait, it's this move. But to see this one, we can side walk to the left, right? That's good. And then we have 3 is linear. Yep. That's probably what I would do in these situations because you're like not really sure. Right? So you're kind of like you see it coming in and you have to like do something like this, right? Something like that. I guess you can see it come in, though. Like, react to it, I guess. Or something. Something like this. Okay, so you have standing 3, then we have 4-1, which we talked about 4-1 also being a side block left type of situation. Yeah. Something like this, right? Something like that. So, honestly, yeah, the only thing that they can do... The only thing they can really do to stop that is to do forward 1+2. And maybe that's why I've never seen them throw out forward 1+2, because we're not stepping against this situation, right? Now, I am a firm believer that if, what is it, like, if we get hit, we're going to have to take the block, right? We're just going to have to block it, but I do think that this is quite interesting that on block, we're not as scared as we need to be, right? Which means we probably need to, we don't need to as aggressively try to, like, stop these types of moves that are coming into this situation necessarily, right? But I'm not sure. So one thing I want to try though is, like, what if we did this, right? Or what if we just did what was it, like this move, or yeah, this move, yeah. Something like this, right? Or even something like this, right? Like this. In that situation, would the tracking be the same? Maybe. It's probably even better. It's probably even better, right? So, I wonder about that. So, okay. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this. So, let's go ahead and come up with a training regimen for this. So I think there are 2 training regimens here that I would do around Izumo, and I think it's actually good to chunk these into smaller pieces. So let's go ahead and leave it at this stance today, because we basically talked through a more simple situation than I realized. So what I would do is twofold. The first thing is I would start mixing in these types of moves into our training regimen. And then on top of that, we would probably also have a different training regimen where you have a number of Izumo moves coming out, and you're practicing essentially punishing the ones that are mids, right? So it's like you would probably put in the 2, Izumo 2 for the -13, Izumo, 2 for the -13, 1+2 for the -12 for the power crush, and then the 1-2 for the mid option, right? You could probably have that, and then you could probably throw in ones that are not, right? You'd probably just do all the Izumo moves and just practice punishing the mids. I think that would be a good way to do it. And then another way to do it would be essentially throwing in this mix. And that actually brings me to a point that I forgot to look into, which is essentially we can probably option select this situation. So let's pull out the that situation with the sidestep situation, right? So I think what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna do like I don't know, like a power crush seems to be like the fastest thing, right? So what we'll do is we're gonna do this into this into this, basically, right? And we're first gonna make sure that we can actually do this, right? Yeah, counter hit. So nice. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to record this situation, basically, and we're going to do it as quickly as we can. Oops. Okay. And now, between the two, here's the thing. My theory here is is that we can do something like this. It seems a little bit hard, but we can probably do it. So, let's see. And I think we can even probably set this up as like a thing. Like, you can probably visually confirm that the high came out, and then if not, you do the 3, right? And I'm a little bit slow, but I think we can do it. I wonder. But I think this is something we could mix into it, right? And you could even just, with Bryan, probably just mix it with a 3 anyway. But it's kind of an interesting exercise for sure. Yeah, so anyway, I think let's go ahead and build a regimen off of this, and that will be our wrap up for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in some June. I'm going to mix in some June ideas into here that are just other good things that I like to practice defending against for now, and we'll go from there. So the first thing I'll probably do is reset these so I don't lose track of them. Yeah, so the next thing I want to do is probably, I think it's actually important to have a couple of these, I-12 type moves, like kind of common ones. So I like to do this one a lot and this one a lot because they're very common and they're going to come up a lot. And then in addition to that, I think I'm going to throw in like a parry. So maybe something like that, right? And I'm wondering, because this will probably make it a little bit difficult. Actually, we'll take this one out because I think that's just another jab, so probably not as useful, but we can do this. I think that's a good exercise. And then we can do like, maybe, this one's minus 11. That's a good one. And then a kind of difficult one, but I like to do it, is doing standing 3 and forward and down forward 4. Because standing 3 is minus 13 and down forward 4 is minus 14. So you end up with like kind of this nice mix of 2 types of legs that you have to be looking for. And you'll notice that down forward 4 has quite a bit of delay compared to the standing 3, versus the standing 3 being very fast. But it's like the timing differences and stuff. I think this is a pretty challenging set of moves to be punishing altogether. Like, I'm gonna fail this. I'm probably gonna fail. That's 10. But see, I think this is like a pretty interesting way to do it. So, with that being said, let's go leave it at this, and I'm going to go ahead and do our sign-off. So if you're coming from YouTube, be sure and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us grow. We really love seeing the new people show up, and if you want to watch it live, it's going to be at twitch.tv/VonTiban. That's VONTIBAN. We stream Tekken Bryan Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. This is the first hour that you just saw, which is our lapping sessions. And then the next 2 hours are our structured learning, where we practice something that, a concept that we're trying to get better at in the ranked games. So if you didn't catch all that, this is in your description below, as well as a link to our Discord, where you can join our community of players trying to get better at the game together. So with that being said, thank you so much. Appreciate you as always. I'll see you in the next video.